Welcome to Singapore. It's the morning show with me, Kelly Latimer, and the best sister ever, Barbara, because she made me breakfast.
You know it. It's Whacky Wednesdays, where we try our very best to get you through the day with some belly laughs and light-hearted humour.
Get Active TV has you covered from morning till night with morning stretches and sweat sessions, lunchtime catch-ups, afternoon workouts, dinner inspiration, and evening wind-downs. What's not to love?
And somewhere in between all of that stuff, you've got us, where we bring you updates, guests, life hacks, and everything else in between.
Now, today we've got giveaways for Kydra, local homegrown brand Kydra. That will be coming up in a short while, but first let's get to all our numbers from yesterday. A total of 632 new cases, 12 community cases, of which 8 of them are Singaporeans and PRs, and 4 of them work passes.
We've got 15 work permit holders outside the dorms and 605 new cases from inside the dorms. However, the good news is that 97% of them are linked to known clusters or cases.
3% obviously undergoing contact tracing, which is great. It is great to see all these numbers, but it's very, very important that we do our part. I think yesterday on the way home, I popped into a baking shop to try and see if I could get more goods to bake cookies. And whilst I was in there, a couple of safe distance ambassadors walked in, double-checked the number of people in the shop, and then reminded the cashier, hey, please must make sure that they're 1 meter apart and make sure that there's enough space between everybody.
That's right.
And even though she was overwhelmed, she was like, yes, okay,
I do feel bad for her, because there was one of her in this shop managing the cashier, trying to remind people to, stay vigilant, and also just managing queries as well, because we're all asking her, where can I find this flower? Where can I find that?
But I think it's very important that we don't take for granted our safe distance ambassadors. We've already had one case of a man stabbing a safe distance ambassador, and it's unnecessary, completely unnecessary in any scenario, but even more so because all these guys are trying to do is just make sure that we are safe in our surroundings and that we're looking after our general population as well. So be nice to them, guys. They're just doing their job and they're just trying to keep us all safe. SG United.
Yeah, we understand sometimes you forget things. You might run out of the house and have forgotten a mask. So a good way to combat that is always have a spare one, like in your pockets, in your bag, whatever it is, just so that you don't forget.
Alrighty, we're gonna go for a short break in a short while, but remember, we've got our giveaway today. Kydra is what we're giving away.
You're gonna flex it in those super smooth leggings. We've got a 20%, $20 voucher that you can get off, which is great. And I do believe they've recently just launched a new men's collection.
Lovely.
And they're known for the men's shirts especially to be super soft and really, really good for working out. So yeah, all you need to do is like and share the morning show on the Get Active TV Facebook page and comment and tell us what is your favorite workout.
Awesome. Now we're going to go for a short break. When we return, we have one of the most flexible ladies, but also the sassiest of women, joining us in studio, Jessica Sinclair, recently married, owner of the Yoga Mandala, giving Barbara some tips on how to achieve
Kelly copped out of this
the
one.
splits. Don't go away. This is the morning show with Kelly and Barbara.
Step right up, draw the next card. You're one of the black animals, so get along with everybody else. Is this ship sinking? I've been thinking. Are we sinking? I've been thinking. Been a little time to get along. One of these days I'm gonna feel this hell. A wake up call, throw the next up. Be one of a kind, original. Don't be another sign of the times. 5. Wanna know the secret we get on? Wanna know the secret we get on? Try to find the feeling we belong. It's all for one and all for fun.
Good morning and welcome back to the morning show with me, Barbara. Kelly's popped off for a little bit, but I have instead with me Jessica Sinclair of the Yoga Mandala. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me here.
Jessica is here for our stretch segment today, but we're just going to have a quick little chat first. So the Yoga Mandala, how long has that been around now?
It's about 7 years now.
Wow, and you've launched out overseas, you know, you're creating this big name, it's absolutely fantastic. But on a more personal note, you've battled scoliosis for a really long time. Tell us about that and how yoga's helped.
Yeah, okay. So I got into yoga because I wanted to help my back. There was one day I was chopping apples and I sneezed and I landed on the ground because I had pulled something in the back. And that's when I went to the doctor and they said, hey, you have very severe scoliosis, you have to go for surgery. And I was like, I don't want to go for surgery.
Because back surgery is no joke. It's open surgery, it's a little bit, ooh.
They're gonna fuse your spine together with a metal rod. So I thought I'd just gonna try yoga. And then after 3 months, the pain went away. And then after 6 months, suddenly on my next x-ray, I saw that the curve had changed. And I decided, okay, I'm gonna do this long term. So 7 years down the road, it's like from a 49-degree curve to a 14-degree curve.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And, okay, so I know a lot of people, like, they have back issues and they're like, okay, I wanna get into yoga. And you were obviously a very severe case with that 49% curve. What was or how frequently were you practicing in those 3 months where you saw even just that little bit of a change in the pain reduce?
Okay, so there's no quick fix. I really was at the end of the road. I had no other alternatives. So I was doing 8 hours a day.
Okay. I feel like that's a bit extreme.
Yeah.
Had you done yoga before?
No. So
Okay.
I went straight out and I took a teacher certification course so that I know what I was doing. And then
Oh, straight off the bat, you signed
Yeah.
up for a course. Okay.
immediately, without any yoga knowledge at all.
Wow.
Yeah, I was serious.
Yeah, you were super serious. Okay. And well, it's great that we've been able to see that. I mean, it's always stories like this that inspire people. And you've come a super long way. Look at you, girl.
Yeah.
And okay, so we're in our stretch segment. We've had physios in, we've had different yogis in. A lot of it's been like chest openers, you know, hip openers to combat everything that people are doing at home.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
But we wanted to kind of take it out of the box today and learn how to kind of ease ourselves into the splits. So I clearly didn't think this through, and I'm in jeans. But I think naturally I have like the tightest hips, the tightest hammies. I've been practicing a little bit more over the last few weeks. But yeah, what are some, for people at home that want to kind of ease into being able to get into splits, what are some of the stretches that we can work on to get into that direction?
All right, so first off, we have to understand that everyone's built differently. Some people are born with their bones set in a certain way, and they're never ever going to be able to go into a split. So that if that's the case, they really have to accept it.
Oh, I feel like that might be me.
Maybe your case.
Oh.
Yeah, and it can actually do more harm than good.
Okay.
But for other people who are just inflexible, then they can do these exercises, you know. So because now a lot of people sit down in front of a computer almost the whole day,
Yeah.
you're gonna get really tight glutes. So there are certain exercises that you could do while sitting in the chair.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's why we've got our chairs. So we just
Yes.
need to make sure I don't fall off.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Number
Alrighty.
one.
Number one, the glutes and the hamstrings can be really, really tight. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna grab the side of your foot, sitting down this way. Okay, I would suggest that for safety, you put your other foot on the floor.
Well, then we've got short people problems. Okay.
Alrighty.
All right, maybe
So
I'll try this
what
first.
you're gonna do is to keep the knee pointing towards the ceiling, and you should start to feel if it's really tight in the glutes, you're gonna feel a stretch in the hamstring already.
Yeah, oh, your
So-
elbows on the inside.
Yeah, on the
okay.
inside, yeah. So try leaning forwards, don't lean back, and then you want to pull the knee in. So
Like a half baby pose.
yes, that's right, exactly that.
Look at me with my knowledge.
So from here, once you feel a little bit more comfortable, and you can start to pull up a little bit. Yeah, just a little. So you want to ease into it. You don't want to just go straight into it because you could pull a muscle. So after this, you could start to bend the elbow a little bit more. And basically, you just want to pull it in and pull it up. You get to that point where you have that
Pull it
flexibility.
in, pull it up.
Yeah, without leaning back. Oh, 1 meter. 1 meter. I forgot about it. Be careful.
Okay. Okay. But no, I do. Yep. Feel that.
Yeah.
And the good old. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So obviously you want to do it on both sides.
Yeah, sure.
Oh no, not now.
Okay.
No, not now. I'll fix it later. Okay. What's stretch number 2?
Okay, stretch number 2, another part that is really tight would be the inner thigh.
Oh,
so we
yes.
go into a triangle pose. So what you do, let's start with the right leg. So pointing the right foot to the right side of the room, left foot facing the front of the room. Good. Now let's square the hip. And the distance of the foot could be maybe 3 feet apart. Good. Now from here, place your hands on your hip. And you're going to use your right hand to push the hip over to the left side so that the hip goes over to the left side. And you start to feel that stretch on the right inner thigh. All right, you can stay here. Make sure that the ribs don't pop
I feel like
open.
yours are. I feel like your hips popping way more than mine.
Oh, I've had a lot of practice doing
Oh.
this. So let's reach the arms up. Go. And keep reaching to the corner of the room.
Just trying to make sure we're
Yeah.
overlapping each other, staying far apart.
Okay, and then you
Okay.
can drop that right hand down and place it on the shin to support yourself if you want. Yeah, and then the left hand goes up. Now over time, you should be able to feel that stretch on the right inner thigh and go down a little bit more, but this comes with practice. So this is a good start. Looks good. Yeah,
I'm
natural.
going. Okay, cool. And you were
Alrighty.
saying that that one is, you shouldn't just, so I definitely felt it on my right inner thigh.
Yeah.
But you should also be feeling it on the
IT band.
IT bands as well.
Yeah, so it goes in this way. So
And
this
that-
part and this part will get stretched.
Comes with that little bit of a pop.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And what else have we got?
Okay, the third stretch is going to be done on the floor, so it's a low lunge. So a lot of you would be very familiar with this. Again, let's start with the right leg. So the first 2 stretches, we're stretching the front and the inside of the right thigh.
Right.
But for this stretch, it's going to be stretching the left thigh, the front of the left thigh.
Front to the left thigh.
Okay, so making sure that your right knee never goes over the toes. And then your hips are square, which means they're not opening to
So
the
you're
side.
not going off to the side.
Yeah, that's
You want
right.
to make sure they're both facing the front.
Yeah. And then from here, you tuck in the tailbone. Yeah, so once you tuck in the tailbone, you should feel that stretch on the left hip flexor.
Oh, I feel it now.
You feel
we
it?
talked about this earlier, and you're like, tucking your tailbone. I was like, I am tucking in my tailbone. But now I feel like, so you're not necessarily just trying to go as far forward as you can.
No.
You're just trying to squeeze it in a little bit.
You're going
and
to
then you
squeeze your
really
glutes.
feel it on the,
Yeah.
the left one right there.
That's right. So
Ooh.
even if you don't go down, you're already getting a stretch in the hip flexor.
Yeah.
And then from here, you can start to ease yourself down a little bit. So basically, for the splits, the last 5 cm is the hardest. When you're trying to go down, you're almost there. The last 5 cm would be the hardest.
I was going to say, like, the first 5 cm is the hardest for me. Every time I go for a yoga class and they're like, okay, go into a half split, I'm like, a half what now?
It looks good, though.
Oh, thanks. How? Look at me go. Next thing you know, I'm going to be posting on my stories like, ooh, I'm a flexi Lexi. Can I answer your phone call? Awesome. All right, well, we're going to go for a quick little break, but Jessica is going to stay with us. Kelly's going to be hopping in for a little bit of a chat on how life has been going and everything in between. Don't forget to comment and tell us your favorite workout. Hey, if it's yoga, comment and tell us that as well. And you might be walking away with a $20 Kydra voucher. Stay with us.
Step right up, draw the next card. You water the plant, we're animals, so get along with everybody else. Is the ship sinking? I've been thinking. Always sinking. I've been thinking. Been a little time to get along. One of these days you're gonna feel. One of these days I'm gonna feel this haze. A wake-up call, throw the next dart. Be one of a kind, original. Don't be another sign of the times. Fight. Wanna know the secret? We get on. Wanna know the secret? We get on. Try to find the feeling we belong. It's all for one and all for fun.
I love how this rush gear makes me feel. Every time I put it on, I feel super powerful. My training is super intense, so I need something like this that's gonna make me feel strong and ready.
Welcome back to the morning show with Kelly and Barbara. Joining us in studio, continued for an extended chat because she is extending herself today. Jessica Sinclair, owner of Yoga Mandala. So before we get into all the nitty gritties, because you're a newlywed, you've got business that you've got to run, and you've been working on your personal practice. But how's COVID treating you? It's nice. Is it nice to be amongst people?
Yeah, it's so refreshing to come into the studio today and see human beings.
It's just like you're a hugger as well.
I'm
Like,
a total hugger.
This must be really hard to
It is.
be amongst people, and you're like, I just want to hug you.
My heart is lurching out of my chest right now.
It's nice, but you look well. You still look like you're enjoying yourself, keeping busy. What have you been busy with?
Oh, okay, so in the beginning, it was pretty tough because it was just a lot of uncertainty. But I worked on perception, my perspective, and progression. So I realized I just had to change my perspective to make it more positive, and instead of things I can't do, work on the things that I can do.
Yep.
Yeah, because I want to come out of circuit breaker looking like a butterfly. So I really focused a lot on my fitness.
You know, well, I think a lot of people have pivoted and gone, yes, I want to run a marathon or whatever, or I want to do the splits. And it's kind of cool to see how people have gone, okay, we've got 1 month left. What can we do to make sure that we come out of it better human beings or a better version of ourselves? So what does a better you look like?
Well, previously my diet wasn't exactly the best. And because I was working a lot, I didn't really have time for my personal practice. Now with circuit breaker, I'm able to focus a lot on, the proper foods to eat. I don't have to eat on the go anymore, and work a lot on my practice. Also, I have a great group of friends. It really helps to have a support system, a great group of friends that we are accountable to, that we work out together over Zoom.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And it's also nice that it's not just a class that you're attending, but actually working out with friends. I think that keeps the community going on a tighter level because you're interacting with each other a little bit more instead of just following an instructor, right?
Correct. And this is an interesting thing. So because we are always looking at how to improve ourselves and learn new things during circuit breaker, my group of friends consists of fitness individuals and non-fitness individuals. And we take turns teaching classes. So now even for my friends who are not fitness people, they're teaching us HIIT.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's amazing.
But yeah, at least you're picking up a different skill, and it's something that you may or may not choose to develop after circuit breaker ends, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you are also a newlywed.
Yes.
And by newlywed, we're saying you got married like 2 days before they started enforcing like all these other measures. Tell us a little bit about that. I mean, your wedding looked beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. So it was very nerve-wracking because we felt like we were racing against time. and by the skin of our teeth, we made it just in time for the wedding.
Yeah.
So basically, one day before the wedding, we were told about social distancing. So that meant that our guests could not sit close together. But because I had booked a smaller room in the beginning, I was a bit worried about this, but I got married at Capella. So Capella basically moved me to the bigger room.
Oh, wow.
And
They
made sure-
upgraded you.
Yeah.
You got an upgrade. Did you have to
They
pay?
upgraded. I'm not gonna
Okay, fine. but at least you were taken care of, right?
They
At
took
least-
really good care of us. So they made sure that everything still was beautiful. Nothing looked like it was not prepared in any way.
Oh, that's fantastic. Because literally you were telling us that you were still sorting out your guest lists and how they're going to see it and all of that. You must have been going through so much. I think getting married is one of the biggest stresses in your life alongside, I think they say that the biggest stresses in your life are getting married, having a kid, and something else I can't remember now. But like getting married is up there in terms of the biggest stresses. So how did you cope?
I had really good support system. My family, my friends, my husband, they were all really calm. I was the one that was kind of freaking out.
Alvin's a cool guy. Like he's
Yeah.
a very steady guy. I love his demeanor as well. But here's the kicker: you can't live together yet.
Yeah, we can't.
This was like you got married, you had a couple of nice days together, and then boom, that's it. You're separated. Like, talk us through that.
So basically, if I wanted to stay with him, I could, but it wouldn't be right and it's not socially responsible. In the first place, we were not staying together before the marriage, and then circuit breaker hit. So if I had just popped right into his house, I could have done that, but I wouldn't because we were out and about a lot, and it just would not be socially responsible. Just move in and maybe potentially infect each other and our family members. So we decided together that we were going to stay apart until this is over, and then we'll come back together again. I mean, we've got our whole lives ahead of us. So.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. I mean, look at you guys. Like, you're just so sweet. And it's quite funny because you are not a short lady. And I know for a fact, especially going by his Instagram handle, 198, Alvin's very, very tall.
Yes, very tall.
So, but you guys look so sweet. Your dad must have been so happy as well.
Yeah, he was a little heartbroken because I'll always be his little girl, but he knew it's about time to let me go.
To let you go.
Yeah.
About time. Well, okay. So let's talk about moving forward then, and also the business side of things, because you own studios not just in Singapore but overseas as well. What's the impact been like for you?
It was really uncertain in the beginning. None of us knew what to do. I spoke to a lot of other business individuals, and nobody knew what to do. So in this kind of situation, me and my business partner, we decided that we should not worry about a situation that we have no control over, but just try to do the best that we can and adapt. So we went online.
Okay.
In the first few weeks, it was a little quiet because nobody wanted to do online classes. But I think as time went on, everyone accepted the situation. They started coming back.
Yeah, I think there was initially a bit of resistance, a bit of hesitation from a lot of people because they're like, no, like it's weird. I don't know how to do this. I don't have the space. I don't have the setup.
Yeah.
But I think as people got into a groove of, okay, if I don't do something, I'm going to go stir crazy, right?
Yeah.
So then they started turning to things that I guess for yoga especially allows you to lead a more mindful life, especially if you're going to be at home trapped in four walls with the same people.
Yeah,
correct?
yeah.
So that transition to a digital business then, was that an easy transition to make? Was it a difficult transition? How have you and your instructors coped?
Well, I think that it really tested the teachers in terms of the ability to verbalize instructions online, because physically, teachers can just go over and adjust the student, but now they're so far away, it's online on the screen, and they're like, okay, they really had to relearn how to give instructions in a way that students can understand, and relearn how to give more regressions or progressions for postures. And at the end of the day, this is all going to benefit the teacher into making them a better teacher.
Wow. So how many classes do you conduct each week?
Personally, I conduct the teacher trainer courses.
Yep.
So I don't conduct the 1 hour classes because I don't really have the time. But in the studio, I lost count actually.
Oh, that's a happy problem. That's a great problem to have. So how's that teacher training going then?
It's good.
That must be a whole other ball game, because it's not just that you're teaching people how to do a pose, it's you're teaching people how to teach how to do a pose. That's got to add like another dimension on the whole thing.
Definitely. So when circuit breaker hit, we were in the midst of the YTT, yoga teacher trainer program. And everyone was really uncertain, like, what's going to happen now? How are we going to do our classes and stuff? So I had them go online, and I taught them how to verbalize instructions in a way that people could understand. And they realized that actually that benefits them a lot.
Because coming back to what you just said, it teaches them how to give cues better, right?
Yes, and in addition to that, it opened up a whole other market, because now you can actually teach online to people overseas. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so at least their pool of people that they could potentially teach is a lot wider.
Yeah.
So then what does the business look like post-circuit breaker for you guys? Do you think this digital thing is going to last a lot longer for you? Is this a new realm of business that you think you're going to continue with, or do you think you're just itching to get back in the studio and continue with your conventional business?
I think I'm definitely going to add this online aspect to the business. Because it makes it a lot easier to reach students who are very far away. That's something I definitely am going to look into.
Well, I think there's definitely a lot to learn from you, because you're such a charismatic person. Your practice is very different. I've seen you teach, I've been in classes, and you are a very vocal teacher. You're a very exuberant teacher. It's not your traditional yoga class, and I think a lot of people, when they go for your classes, they realize that that's a sort of style that, especially in this new modern world, is very applicable. It's not just about the introspective stuff, but it's also about the extrospective stuff. Is that even a word? I'm not sure. But
I don't know. I'm going with it.
Yeah, extrospective. I think that's a good thing. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yoga Mandala, if people want to join classes,
you can go onto the Yoga Mandala website or the Instagram, the Yoga Mandala.
Oh, fantastic. Easy peasy. Well done. Thank you very much, Jess, for joining us.
Thank
you for
Kelly.
sharing with us about your wedding and how beautiful everything is, and also the business, because I think it's really important to see how different people are coping with the situations. And it's nice to see that you're still smiling.
Yes. Be positive.
Be positive and sort of just embrace the whole thing. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
We're going to pop off for a short break. Remember, we've still got those Kydra vouchers to be given away. If yoga is your jam, then tell us what your favorite type of yoga is on our Facebook page in the comments. And remember to like our page and share the stream on your personal pages as well. Like I said, we're going to go for a short break. When we return, it's Fakkah Fuzz in the house to brighten up your Wednesdays. Don't go anywhere.
Step right up, draw the next card. You're one of the brighter animals, so get along with everybody else. Is the ship sinking? I've been thinking. Are we sinking? I've been thinking. Been a little time to get along. Wake up call, throw the next up. Be one of a kind, original. Don't be another sign of the times. Fight. Wanna know the secret? We get on. Wanna know the secret? We get on. Try to find the feeling we belong. It's all for one and all for fun.
and welcome back to Whacky Wednesdays here on the morning show with Kelly and Barbara. To really make sure we get those belly laughs going, we have with us, drum roll please, Fakkah Fuzz!
Hey! What's up, bro?
Yay!
What's up?
I'm really digging your working from home setup, like this whole mic system. Look at you. You look super cool.
I mean, you need to, you need to make good out of a bad situation, right? Like, this is my podcast setup. I've already been here, and I set this up actually before the pandemic, yeah. But this was intended to be the room that I did my podcast in. But now that it's now that I can't get out of this room, so I do all my podcasts remote. Yes, and I've done about like 30 episodes here already. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so
So where can people find these podcasts? Where are they going out? I mean...
You can find my podcast on Spotify. It's called the More Better Podcast. It's now number 7 on the top 10 of the podcasts in Singapore, like the podcast charts.
is it more better? Is it really more better?
I'm me, man. The name's there for a reason,
So tell us a little bit about the podcast. Like, who's in it? What do you talk about?
Well, right now I have over like how many guests? I'm not very sure. I think about like 20 plus over guests. Yeah, 20 plus over guests, 30 plus over episodes because some of the guests repeats. So what the whole concept of the show is basically I talk to my friends, right? I have all these cool conversations with my friends and all these funny conversations with my friends and my siblings and people in my life. And I've always wondered, like, is there a way for me to want to share these conversations with people? These aren't necessarily like, maybe it's not the smartest conversations, but some of these conversations do make me think, and some of these conversations do change my perspective or change my life in certain ways. And I'm like, okay, I think that's one part of my life that I want to share with people. And I've always loved podcasts. I've always loved Conan O'Brien's podcast, Joe Rogan's podcast. Just listening to them doing their thing is very inspirational for me. So when I have the means of like doing that for myself and setting it up for myself, and I realized that the setup was very possible for me, I was like, okay, cool. So when I set it up, now I have like, the last guest I had was Sheikh Haikal. Before that, I had my own brother and my own sister on my podcast.
Aww.
And then, and we've got guests like Benjamin King, a few rappers from overseas. So we got rappers across the causeway,
Overseas. If there's water in between it, it's counted.
I mean, I mean, it's between us. Yeah, I mean, it is a sea, right? This is South China Sea. Yeah, so we've got like Joe Flizzo, sort of one. Yeah, these people. So these are people in my life that I actually know personally. Yeah, so I don't call anybody that I don't know personally on the show. So usually these people are always around my life, and I have cool conversations with. I try to replicate that on this podcast.
It's a good thing you got a lot of friends.
It's true.
I do, and these aren't necessarily like best friends, but these are friends that I've at least have spoken to and sat down and had conversations with at some point in my life, And
hey, bro, you want to be on my show?
Yeah, and it's quite a blessing that that these people are all in the entertainment industry, and sometimes when I look at the list and I'm going like, damn, like I actually know these people, and it's quite cool, yeah. And most of them are really supportive too, like because I've sort of worked with them at some point in my life, and that's how we became friends. And they're like, yo man, of course we would love to be part of your show, yeah.
Awesome. So
yeah.
on the comedy side of things, obviously, like Netflix was great.
Yes.
I loved it. I watched it and I was like giggling.
Thank you.
How has that aspect been for you, in like with the whole like COVID-19 situation?
Well, you can't get out of the house, so there's no way to do stand-up comedy because you can't get out of the house and you can't do events. But I've had a few offers to do stand-up comedy from the comfort of my own home. So there's this, I'm doing this live stream with Create Studios SG. It's weekly every Friday, and I do 10 minutes of stand-up on screen. And that's when I interact with the people who comment. I interact with people I go on live and interact with the comments and then just make jokes out of it. And also at the same time tell jokes or tell the jokes that I have to say maybe about whatever is happening currently, and things like that. And then after that, I proceed with another half hour of like a podcast. So it's a whole, fuzz, 40 minutes of fuzz. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
Where do
and at the same time,
like, I could
sorry?
I could do that this Friday. That might be my Friday plan. I mean, woohoo, Friday nights. So where do we go and watch that or be able to interact with you?
Well, you can check the link out on my page, Fakkah Fuzz at Fakkah Fuzz. Yeah, but at the same time, like there's also a lot of other content that I'm putting out this month, just to keep people entertained right now, because everybody's in lockdown and everybody's bored at home, and I think we if it's a good thing that we can just make sure they're not so bored. Yeah, sorry, I don't know.
Busy man.
You busy man. Okay, so let's talk about the
that.
situation, because obviously when you're doing stand up, like you said, a lot of it you're drawing off the energy, you're drawing off the vibe of the people. Now you're just going off whatever comments they have. And you got like little keyboard warriors who are like typing out whatever they want to say.
Your like digital hecklers.
Yeah. So how is that different, and how have you adapted to this new form of comedy?
Well, I think it depends, right? My comedy will usually attract people that like me if you're gonna take the time to actually click on the link and then search on the live and then watch me do stand up, then that means you must have some level of interest. So most people that actually watch it, they're not there to talk shit. Wait, sorry. They're not there to say bad things about me. Sorry.
We'll bleep that out.
Okay. They're not there to say bad things about us. This is why it's pre-recorded. They're not there to say bad things, but I do have sometimes people that comment on there and they say funny things, and I guess that is some sort of a heckle, but it really teaches me to like, okay, now I guess this is what it is. I have to banter with this because this is the only interaction you get. Because most of the time when you're in the club, the interaction you get is from the reaction of the crowd. So now the reaction of the crowd is in comment form. So if it's in comment form, then you have to adapt. Yeah, so that's that's a pretty interesting change that I had to do with my work. But other than that, let me tell you, in my free time, sometimes because I have a car, and I have a friend who has a food company, and sometimes if I'm really really free, and he goes like, hey man, you want to just take some deliveries for fun? And I do surprise people at their door with no contact delivery, and I go like, hey, what's up, it's me. And then they go like,
that is awesome.
I would love to have you deliver my food.
Ben, deliver to the house,
I know.
It's like,
I'll
what?
just
You should do
pop
a whole
up.
like,
You
birthday
record
thing.
it.
You should record it. You should definitely
I know.
your stand-up
especially
food delivery.
during Ramadan. It's Ramadan time, so like I'll if I have no streams or podcasts going on around that time period, like 1 or 2 hours, I'll just call my friend and I'm like, hey man, let me do a couple of houses, and then I come in and then they're like, oh, they'll open all grumpy, they look at me, they're like, oh my god, what are you doing? And I'm like, what does it look like I'm doing?
Delivering your
the
food.
hustle is real. The bills gotta get paid.
I mean, but at the same time, it's also fun, because I'm also looking for stories, right? Like, I mean, I've got to draw inspiration somewhere. If I don't do that, then I'm just stuck at home watching Netflix, and at the same, you can't really get a lot. I kind of have to go out and do something, even if it's no contact delivery. At least I have I have a lot of stories about. I have stories about like going out and doing deliveries too. Like yesterday, I just almost saw a naked old lady. So
What?
Grandma getting it on.
I feel like we need to hear this story.
Oh no! Like it was just weird. Yeah, it was just I saw. I mean, it was on the paper and the name was Mummy, and I'm like, can you give me a real name? Because I'm not going to the door and asking for Mummy. So and I'm going like, who's the mummy? Who's the mummy? Right. So when I knocked on the door, was this old lady. She had about like maybe 4 teeth, and then she she had like the butterfly. I don't know if you know, like a lot of Malay mothers like to wear the butterfly loose dress. And it had a sleeve over here with a hole on it, and it was full skin. There was no undergarment at all. It was full skin, and I saw all woman boob for the first time, and you can't unsee that. You can't unsee that. It kind of sticks with you. For the rest of your life, it kind of sticks with you. So
tell us, like, what does now that you're staying at home most of the time when you're not out surprising people at deliveries, what does your day look like?
Well, I wake up in the morning. I think it's morning.
Do you really wake up in the morning?
I wake up in the morning. I think it's morning. And then I cook a meal. Like I've learned how to cook. I've learned to cook like maybe let's see, like maybe close to 10 Malay dishes, like all Malay dishes. Yeah, because I only cook what I want to eat. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Not that I don't want to eat pasta or anything, but I don't have a working oven, so I'm just cooking a lot of Malay dishes. Yeah, so I cook that, and then right after I cook that, I chill and maybe I watch a couple of episodes on Netflix, and then I start working on the podcast. I start booking guests, and then in the evening usually I'll have like about 1 or 2 hours. Sometimes I'll do two back to back. Yeah, and just yeah, it really helps me talking to people. It really helps me keep the social thing going because I'm an extrovert. So like I need to talk to people, and when you have the same people in the house, it's good to talk to them, but at the same time, it's nice to have some change when you're doing that. So then it goes on to the middle of the night, and I don't know what time I sleep, and sometimes I sleep at like 7. Like I have no idea.
Right, so
What
you're
time it is,
definitely not
yeah.
waking up in the morning then. So we want to say a big thank you for making it out of bed for us today.
And putting on clothes.
Hey.
Thanks for that. Clothes.
Thank you for getting me out of bed. Like I wouldn't know.
You know what time it is now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what time it is even. Like if you weren't for your phone call, I think I'll still be like I don't know, dreaming about the outside.
Aw.
Yeah.
Well, fingers crossed you get to go outside real soon and for probably more
June
than just
1st,
a
baby.
delivery. Yeah,
June
counting
1st.
down.
Fingers crossed,
Yeah.
come deliver some food to our houses.
Yeah.
We want a surprise visit too.
I will, and also I'm trying to keep my. You see this? I'm trying to keep my hair all the way till the June 1st, till June 1st, till CB ends. So I've got a little bit thing going on here. I mean, like the hairline's over here,
You got
but
the
I finally
fuzz.
get to see the revelation
you
of
got
my
the
hair.
fuzz going.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely like it's a thing I'm going, and then I can flip my hair now. See, I got a lot of hair.
Yeah,
Do one of the L'Oreal ads.
I'm definitely going for a haircut soon. Alrighty, Fakkah Fuzz, thank you so much for joining us today. Fun times. Like seriously, where do we need to go to order food to get you to deliver it? What's your friend's drink?
Well, there's wow, I gotta plug my friend's thing. All right, cool. There's this company called Ohana. Yeah, that's her company. Yeah, so she
Is it
sells
the
all
poke
kinds of things.
place?
She says like it's called Ohana. I mean, I think it means family or something. Yeah, so she sends food and she also sends like groceries. So sometimes I send food and sometimes I send groceries.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's only when I'm free though. It's only when like the time period when I have nothing to do.
So
and then
like
she'll be
every
"Hey,
day
you
we'll
want-"
just be like
Chocho, you
ordering
message you
one
and just be
item, hoping that
Yeah, and
you'll be the one delivering it.
yeah, and I realized that if people who actually do this for a living, it's a tough. Like, please shout out to all our frontline workers and all those delivery guys doing this.
For sure.
It's tough work, man. It really is. Like, if you
is.
did this for a living and it's the only thing that you're hoping on for survival, it's actually really really tough. So shout outs to them. Thank you for your hard work.
Awesome.
Thank you
All
as well
right.
for joining us.
Once again, thank you for joining us here on The Morning Show with Kelly and Barbara. We're going for a quick break, but we'll be back with more Whacky Wednesday. Good morning.
Step right up, draw the next card. You're one of the brighter animals, so get along with everybody else. Is this ship sinking? I've been thinking. Are we sinking? I've been thinking. Been a little time to get along. One of these days you're gonna be. One of these days
welcome back to the morning show with Kelly and Barbara. How are you doing today? If you haven't already done so, make sure that you are sharing our feed, liking our page, and telling us what workout you love to do.
What workout are you doing today?
Maybe a little bit of core, a little bit of legs, maybe 100 something for sure,
Bit
but
of bar.
maybe you want to do some Pilates.
That's right. So we've got Betsy coming in with us. Well, she's done core work. It's all about maintaining the ab balance and keeping everything nice and engaged in that tabletop position. Take a look.
Hello and welcome
Okay,
to
guys, I
Break
really
It
need the
Down,
toilet.
the time when you get to break down your favorite exercises and movements so you know the ins and outs and the do's and don'ts and the best hacks to get to make it easier and hopefully also a lot harder for you. My name is Betsy and today I'll be taking you through this exercise where I love to, always teach clients when they just start off doing Pilates, and it's core activation in a 4-point kneeling position. So if you do try this at home, don't forget to tag us at Get Active TV. And if you've got any questions, feel free to shoot us a comment and we'll love to help. All right, so let me get started. So I'm going to ask you guys to turn over and just place your hands on under your shoulders and your knees directly under your hips. All right, so in this position, you want to feel like the spine is able to lengthen up. So when I get people to get onto this position, a lot of them always wonder why, am I not feeling my core yet? Okay, so I'm just going to give you a little hack here. I'd like you to maintain your spine nice and long so you're not going to tuck your tailbone under, not rounding the back. Likewise, you're not arching your back, all right? So keep it kind of nice and flat here. So I'm just going to start off by taking a nice inhale breath to breathe in. As I exhale, I'm going to think of pulling my wrist towards my knees, although I'm not moving my hands, and I'm pulling my knees towards my wrist. So when I'm just pulling here, as you can see, I don't know whether you can see on camera, but you can feel your abdominal muscles starting to actually engage. Okay, so I'm just going to try again. So inhale, relax. Exhale, now you're going to pull your wrist towards your knees without changing the spinal position. You want to maintain the long spine. I'm shaking a little as I'm doing this. Inhale, I'm just going to gently relax. Okay, let's do one more time. Exhale, now pull. Wrist to your knees. Now you really should feel your abdominals engaging because when this happens, it will give you some kind of stability. Let's make it a little bit harder for you now. Okay, so from here, we're just going to lift one leg off the mat. Try to keep your weight even on both wrists, and you want to maintain a nice flat back. Now try to pull your left wrist in and your right knee in. Now hold that position and you slowly lift your right hand up. Now from here, you should be able to stay stable without shaking too much, and you should want to aim to at least hold for 5 to 10 seconds. Okay? Don't forget you want to feel like your abs are contracting and you hold that position. So it's actually working your core right here to stay as balanced as you can. Okay, now I'm just going to bring the hand down, bring the leg down. Let's try the other side together. So right leg up. And now pull your left wrist slightly inwards towards your left knee. And now you're going to lift your left hand up and hold here. So opposite arm, opposite leg, reaching away from you. As you pull your wrist and your knees slightly inwards, feel your abdominals, feel that stability, and you come back down and return. Okay, we do a lot of this to prep you at the start of the workout. Okay, so thank you for joining me on Break It Down. It's time for a quick break, and when you come back, it's over to Kelly and Barbara once more, so don't go anywhere.
Step right up, draw the next card. You're one of the brighter animals, so get along with everybody else. stuck. Be one of a kind, original. Don't be another sign of the times. Fight. Wanna know the secret? We get on. Wanna know the secret? We get on. Try to find the feeling we belong. It's all for one and all for fun.
I love how this rush gear makes me feel. Every time I put it on, I feel super powerful. My training is super intense, so I need something like this that's gonna make me feel strong and ready to go.
Good morning and welcome back to the morning show with Kelly and Barbara. Now that we've got your core nicely activated, it's almost time to start the day, but you know, it's all about making sure that you're staying active as a whole.
Yeah,
Right?
completely. And I think that there's a lot that we can do as Singaporeans to stay united and also work out together. Now, we're all familiar with the Great Singapore Workout, right?
Yeah, it was like a,
Yeah?
yeah.
Very
so
good.
I think Total Defense has come up with one as well.
That's right. The Total Defense TikTok page. If you're not following them, you need to know. You need to go and get on that. They have basically come up with a brand new Singapore workout. So let's take a quick look.
Stay home from Singapore. It's just for a while. Get fit right where you are. You make your doctor smile. Pump it up, exercise your heart. Move your feet and make a start. When it's tough, just push a little more. Stay home for Singapore.
Right.
I love how they managed to do the breakdown step by step with emojis.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Okay, what better way to end off the show than for us on a Whacky Wednesday to have a crack at doing something wacky? So come on then, Meg.
Okay.
Alrighty,
All right.
so we're gonna play this out. We're gonna have a crack at it and see how we can go, and we'll replay it from the start. I feel like I
One
need
more
to do a-
time from the time. At least I got my flexi yogi stretch on.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I should have warmed up for this. Okay, are we good to go?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Ready?
Let's do the stay home for Singapore challenge. Okay.
Hashtag.
Let's do this. Okay, here we go.
Oh.
Down. Are you
And
out
and dip and dip
dip
and dip and dip and
oh, and
hook, hook, hook.
I feel like we're not very good at
1, 2, 3,
this.
4. Up,
Yeah,
up,
yeah. And
up,
oh.
Yeah.
As you can tell. Oh no, it's
Gonna do
to
the
the
head
front.
tilt
Oh,
and to out and to side and to down.
Are we
and to
almost
up.
there?
1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh,
clap,
yes.
clap, 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 and off
I
with
can
the
do
punch.
it. Oh dear.
Yeah, it's all
Okay.
about staying active.
We are definitely not joining Inala, that is for sure.
Don't know what you're talking about. I thought we were great. Super graceful.
We want to see you have a crack at it as well. If you want to recap the steps, make sure you go and follow the Total Defense's TikTok page, and you'll be able to get all those breakdowns of the steps, and you'll be able to go practice it, and hopefully you will look a lot more graceful
Than we did.
We did.
TikTok's all about practice, right? I've realized that there are so many outtakes that people have in order to get that one TikTok video with the outfit changes and the position changes and the cut throughs. I just need life to be straightforward, much like the breakfast I made you this morning.
Yes, it
So
was
with
a very good
McDonald's
breakfast.
not being open, with McDonald's not being open, I thought I'm gonna brighten up their day with a little bit of a muffin. So I managed to get some muffins that you cut. I took sausages and squeezed them out, so I made them into patties, a little bit of seasoning in there.
Salt bay in it.
Yep. Cooked those, toasted what do you call it? Muffins, put some cheese on, fried an egg. I thought it was absolutely fantastic.
And
my
the verdict
brother-in-law
was,
loved it.
and the verdict was, it was very delicious. So if you're missing McDonald's like my husband,
Have a McBarbs.
home. Now, we are wrapping up today's show. Thank you so much for joining us, but make sure that you join us tomorrow, Tough Nut Thursday, because we have some of the toughest people
I know.
in town joining us on tomorrow's show.
gonna be great.
I'm talking about a Spartan family, not just a dad that's been trying Spartans, but not only a dad, but a mom and the whole kids. The kids are getting involved, and the kids are sensational. We'll be having 2 of them in studio. They're from the same household, so it's all good. And they'll be joining us along with John Chia, one of our Olympic weightlifters here in Singapore.
That's right. It's one of the Team Singapore athletes. He's going to be talking to us a little bit about what it's been like adapting with competitions put to a halt, not being able to go to the gym. I mean, weightlifting is you kind of need the setup.
You kind of do. But if you don't have the setup at home, at least you make sure you look good. Under Armour, we have a fabulous 40% off promo code coming your way tomorrow. So make sure you join us on Tough Nut Thursday. It'll be for a limited period only. So from the show until 3 p.m. tomorrow. So you need to make sure you're tuning in to find out what that discount code is.
Start putting stuff in your shopping cart already. Have it on standby. And we've also got some shoe bags from Under Armour to be given away as well.
That's right. But from Barbara and I today, we are wrapping up the morning show. We will see you again tomorrow, 10 a.m. for more fantastic goodness. But whatever you're doing at home, stay safe, stay strong, and stay at home.